Hey everyone, it's Scott, and welcome to the Land Geek Podcast Roundtable. Today, Mark is out. He's on vacation actually with his family. Someone just told me I think he's at the Cheesecake Factory.
No. He's at
Hey,
one of my favorite factories where they make cheese, Scott.
so you guys are hearing me, the Cheesecake Factory. So next time you see
No,
Mark, make sure that you razz him about being at the Cheesecake Factory. He
he's at
won't know what
Beaker.
he's talking about, and just tell him that I said so. Good enough. And Tate said so too.
I didn't say so.
All right, so let's go. We have a smaller group today. We've got Scott Bossman. I forget. I don't know Mark's all nicknames for you guys. I know Bearland, but come on, the Nightcap Meister. Is that what it is?
The Nightcap Meister, I believe, is my new
All right.
nickname.
All right, we got to change our headings there, so I get it. And then we have the Bearland. I know that one. Aaron Williams, how you doing, Aaron?
Hey, I'm doing great.
What? No roar? Come on, man.
Well, no, I thought the law of diminishing returns was applicable to it.
All right.
How about hey?
Oh, there you go. We got it after all. And then with us is Eric Peterson. Eric, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
All right, good. And we also have Mimi. Mimi's here.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. And then you already heard him. You know he's on the call because he's talking about the Cheesecake Factory. Tate, how you doing?
I'm good, but let it be known that Cheesecake Factory is not my favorite. I mean, it's too loud in there. You ever tried to have a conversation in the Cheesecake Factory? You can't do it. The music's always so loud. So yeah, I can guarantee Mark's not at the Cheesecake Factory.
And the calories, man. The calories are like huge there, aren't they?
I mean, that's why you have a Peloton.
Oh,
Don't
true.
you ride so you can eat?
Yeah, I actually, because I ride indoors, I can ride and eat at the same time as opposed to like you outdoors, you know.
Yeah, but the good thing about me is I'm not worried about crumbs going everywhere, right? I can eat, make a mess, spill water all over the place, and it's just for the birds, right? It's okay.
I got a mat here. The dogs love it. It's all good.
All right, touche.
All right. So listen, I think we have a cool topic for today. A few weeks ago, we talked about kind of some case studies. We did a roundtable and some case studies, some of like our last deals. And we wanted to reverse the tables a little bit today. And we wanted to really share with you guys our biggest mistakes, if you will. Because look, the reality is that we're all going to make mistakes. And sometimes people make mistakes. And you're going to make mistakes too if you're doing any type of real estate. The cool thing that I have found is that in the mistakes that I've made, they've all been fixable. Now, maybe for you guys, it's not that way, but let's see. Let's just go around and let's just first go to Scott Bossman. Scott, biggest mistake, man. I'm sure you've made one. What is it?
Oh, I've made a lot of mistakes. The biggest is I did a deal. It actually, it was probably a year and a half ago now. I bought two properties from a guy, and one of the properties was joint tenants with his deceased wife, and one of the properties was tenants in common with his deceased wife. And I got a little bit lost in the shuffle and purchased both the properties. One, the joint tenants property I was able to purchase with the death certificate of his wife. But the other property, I then became ownership with his deceased wife because he technically should have gone through probate before I purchased that property. So that was a couple $100 mistake that was a big pain. But I was able to find a resource to help me address it and utilize a paralegal who kind of helped me wade through the waters, if you will, to get this deal fixed. So that was one of my biggest mistakes that caused a lot of frustration and hassle at the time. Whoa, I can't hear you.
Sorry. It was fixable. It just cost you a few $100s.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, at least you got it fixed and, resolved, and you move forward and still profitable on that deal, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Bearland, biggest mistake, man. What is it?
I may have talked about this one before, but I bought a property that was like the letter telling the landowner that the taxes or that the property was going up for tax sale went to the person I bought it from at about the same time that I bought the property. So I wasn't aware of it, and I didn't have a good handle on the amount of time in that particular area that property could have back taxes before it was going to go to sale. So I bought the property, marketed it, sold it, and got a letter from a gentleman who said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I own this property now because I redeemed the tax certificates on it." And so all of a sudden now I've got a customer paying a note on a property that I don't own. So I got a hold of the guy and we had a nice conversation. And, luckily he was somebody that was willing to work with me. Wouldn't necessarily always be that lucky, but he sold me back the property for what he had in it, just because he was a pretty nice guy. So unfortunately, I didn't, make a huge profit on that property, but I retained the note, and there's still a little bit of profit in that. So basically it became instead of something I bought, for a quarter of market value, it became kind of like I bought a wholesale deal. So it worked out. It was a mistake that could have been a lot worse. I could have had to refund my customer all that he had paid, but it did work out. So, but that was a big one. I learned good lessons from that one.
And I think that's the thing too, right? Like I think that we are all scared to make mistakes, right? Like no one wants to make a mistake. It's not fun making mistakes. The reality is that like for me, the way I always think about this is my investment is so small in these properties. My average investment is $1,600, that if I made a mistake, I'm going to lose $1,600. That's my loss. But yet I've never lost one straight out, but there is that potential, right? Like anytime you're doing something, there's the potential. And like your scenario that you just did, in a way, you kind of lost the land. You were able to recover it. Lucky thing you were able to recover it. But then at the same time, you learned a very valuable lesson along the way, right? Like this is something we got to check on in our due diligence. Like, man, how delinquent is this, and when are the taxes really coming due?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's not cool for you, but it's cool that you were able to recover. All right, let's go to Eric. Eric, biggest mistake, man.
I don't know. I've got a couple I want to talk about. So the first one, I was purchasing bulk properties. I think it was probably about a dozen properties from a seller, and paid them. They deeded me that group of properties. We recorded it, and a couple weeks later, got a letter back from the assessor saying these two properties on that deed already have been sold, or there's a different owner on them. They were sold prior to you making that purchase. And in the meantime, I'd actually taken a deposit to wholesale one of those. So quickly remedied that and refunded the buyer on the wholesale side, and was able to reach out to the seller. This was a seller I had a relationship with, so it wasn't a huge deal, but it was frustrating more than anything else, just kind of in the time part of it and dealing with getting it all resolved. But the seller gave me two other properties instead that were basically equivalent, and we worked it out that way. So that's one that comes to mind. The other one is this one's more just kind of around the business as a whole. And I often tell my coaching students this. When I got started, I had a full-time job, and I was doing this on the side. And the passive income piece of this business became really important to me. I didn't ever want to see that number go down. I always wanted it to go up and up. And because of that, I wasn't willing to sell any notes and recoup my capital faster and redeploy it back into the business. And that would have been the ideal time to do that. I would be much farther today if I was doing that while I had another job. I didn't need that income. I had a lot more flexibility. Though those numbers were great on the passive side, as they were growing and getting bigger and bigger, I would have just been that much further along today if I was selling those notes back then and redeploying that capital. So that's kind of a, kind of business strategy type mistake that I think is very hard for a lot of people just getting started to let go of some of that passive income because it feels so great. Most of us don't have that outside of this business. So as it starts to accumulate, it's hard to let it go. But the reality is, if you've got full-time work outside of this business, that's your best time to utilize that strategy. So,
and you can always sell your notes at tlfolio.com. See, Mark would be proud of me for plugging that in there, right? Because he's the expert at that piece. But Eric, it's kind of cool that you talk about the selling of notes, because I've always said that. And I did the same thing, right? Like I wanted that passive income, but while I didn't need the money, I went off and sold some of my notes to generate more capital to go buy more properties. And I talk about this in flight school. I talk about it, and every time I talk about my story, I talk about the fact that I leveraged other people's money. And to me, the safest way to do that is through selling just a portion of the note, sell 12 months of the note payment and move on. Now, the other component to that is, to me, it's a lot like playing Monopoly when you do that, because if you've ever played Monopoly, you know that like you go around the board and the goal is to collect as many properties as you can. And clearly you can't go out and you can't put a hotel, you can't buy the property and then put a hotel on it, right? Like that's not the way that the rules work. But the more of these properties that you can accumulate on your first few times around the board, well, that's going to set you up for success later on. And I look at this the same way, as like if I can pair off some of that passive income that I'm generating today, and I wouldn't say pair off all of it. Like I always say, like stick to a 50%, maximum of 50%. So if you have $200 a month coming in, we'll only sell one of the notes, or $100 of that particular passive income stream. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to go around in that first few years and gather as many of these properties as you can. And then as the first 12 months come along and you cycle through it, all of a sudden now you've taken someone else's capital and you've went out and deployed it at a much higher rate, and you've bought all these other properties, and then your passive income is some substantial number higher. It's 6. It's not necessarily 10x, but it all depends on how you deploy it. But if you deploy someone else's money, you're freeing up capital today to go do it. It just, to me, it's a no-brainer. But I get it. People want to hold on to it and protect it, and I would too. So I'm glad that you kind of looked at that and found that solution too. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mimi, what's your biggest mistake?
So I talked about it at the last boot camp. I had an accepted offer from a guy for like $1,175. $1,175. And he was a trucker who was traveling, so he let his friend work with me on the transaction. So, it was to buy the property, okay? So I went and, it was to buy the property. Right? So I paid him for the property $1,175. And the guy's friend calls me back and goes, "You're a zero short. You owe us like $11,000 more dollars." They thought, or he thought it was $11,750. So my stress level went through the roof. I was so stressed out. And the trucker and his friend were sending me the meanest, most obnoxious texts. And it was really upsetting to me, and threatening to go to the sheriff. And as a woman, I was really upset, but I stopped reading my texts, and I would have my husband kind of scan them for anything that was important, like if my daughter come pick me up, because I was so afraid to look at my phone. And so literally I was so afraid. I went back the next day. I swapped the deeds back so that he had the property. And I called the guy, you're going to send me my money back, right? And, well, I'm on a 4-day trip. 4 days later. Well, I spent the money. And I was so stressed out, and I knew my husband was going to be so upset with me. But the check did come. It took about 10 days. But I don't know how that happened. I think it was because there was a middleman involved. He had accepted the offer on the offer letter, the piece of paper. But the friend saw how professional I was during the whole time, and that I didn't get nasty in response to what they were saying to me, that he's now looking at buying a really big piece of property from me. So I made a friend and a client in the process just because I kept my cool and remained professional about the whole thing. But God, it was so stressful.
I mean, that is a very important part, like being able to like remain professional, remain, honest and transparent about it. And if you make a mistake or if there's a confusion, just give back the money. Like to me, that's the fastest way to build credibility around. And we actually had a guy that bought a property from us back in November, and he made his down payment of like $75. Okay. And then he made his first month payment of like a couple $100. And then he stopped making payments, and he was actually delinquent. And we called him. We're like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, well, you're not going to give me the deed on the property, and I can't do what I want until after it's paid off. We're like, that's right. He's like, well, this isn't going to work. And I'm like, well, just pay off the deed or pay 50%, some substantial amount, so I know that you're in. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I want all my money back because you misled me. And he was after the 90-day return period, like the swap period. And plus he was delinquent, which kind of negates that anyway, in my opinion. And, he was talking to the sales rep that he dealt with, and she's like, I don't want to give him back his money. And I'm like, he's going to be an energy vampire. Give him back his money. And she's like, I'm not giving back his doc fee. I said, give him back his money. So she gave him back the money. I'm like, it's not worth it, right? Like, even if it was a cash deal, if you're not going to be fun to work with, man, get rid of that guy and move on to somebody else, because life's too short. And so, like you said, like you could have argued over it and said, no, this is the way that it is. The reality is you did the right thing, even though they were wrong. And look, you'll probably get a big sale out of it. You'll probably make more money than what you could have off the other one.
Yeah.
Maybe. Awesome.
Yep.
That's a good story. Watch out for those truck drivers to call Mimi, man. The terrorist hunter. You don't want to mess with me. You should have been like, listen, do you know who I am?
I don't think you realize.
You don't know who you're messing with, Jack. I'm tracking you right now. Look up. You see that drone? Oh, no, you don't? That's exactly
Run now.
You better run. And I still can see you.
I guess I realized, make sure I have the money before I file the deed. That was a big lesson in that.
Yeah. Good point. All right. Tate the Big Papa, man. Big mistakes? What is it?
I've made a few good mistakes. One mistake most recently that we made was we double sold a property for cash both times. So, or I guess we sold it once on terms, and then we sold it for cash, and we deeded the property to the second person. And we just made a mistake when we entered the APN into LG Pass. So we had the last digit was supposed to be a 0, and we hit 1. And so LG Pass didn't alert us that, hey, this property's already been sold, kind of thing. So I ended up having to go to the person who bought it for cash, and I explained the situation. And, he was pretty upset about it. And we told him, listen, we're going to make it right. Not only are we going to, we can give you your money back, or I've got a similar property in the same area, and because we made a huge mistake, we're going to give you 10% off of it. And he ended up being okay with that. And same thing that Mimi just said, because we handled it professionally and we just kind of owned up to it and said, listen, this is our bad. There's no excuses. We simply messed up. He was very understanding in the long run. I mean, we did have a few heated text messages exchanged, but for the most part, he kind of cooled off and realized that mistakes happened. We weren't trying to keep his money. We were trying to give him his money back, actually. And he really wanted land out in that area. So we were able to move him on to something else. And then that's a mistake that's happened once or twice now. But one of my biggest mistakes ever was when I first got started, I found this honey hole where I could buy lots for like $100, $150 a piece. And I could sell them for cash for like $4,500. And I did like 5 or 6 of these deals. And one of my biggest mistakes or regrets is I ended up wholesaling like 20 lots in that area to a guy for $1,000 a piece. And because he bought them for $1,000, he took them to the marketplace and ended up selling them for like $2,500 cash and just destroyed the market there. And I regret doing that so much because I was sitting on 20 properties, but I got distracted by like the quick money and let him go for something that I shouldn't have done. Now I was happy at the time, right? I made $800 and everything was great. And then I went out and used that money and bought more land in that area and tried marketing them at $4,500. And because he sold all of those for so cheap, people weren't willing to pay that anymore. So that was one of my biggest mistakes.
All right. So that makes me want to like get on my soapbox here, right? Like
I know, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you've got a good lecture in there for me.
Not just you, but like for everybody. Like, here's the thing. Like, I know I even talk about this in flight school and people are like, whatever. And I know you guys are going to agree because I don't think anybody, I've ever seen anybody on this call do this. But here's the funny thing is that one, you know, like when you find kind of this little spot, it doesn't mean that, you know, like you have to always keep it to yourselves. But there is this thing about, like I grew up in a corporate America kind of a deal. It's company confidential, right? Like there's certain things you don't talk about. Fight Club is one of them. You don't talk about company secrets because it gives you the competitive advantage, right? There's little things that you always need to be doing to try to keep your competitive advantage. Here's what I love. I don't love it, but here's what my pet peeve is. Man, I see these groups on Facebook that are like the lots are hot and vacant land, groups that people love to post their ads on, yet nobody ever responds to them. And I swear these groups are set up by other land investors to see where other land investors are investing.
They are.
Why are you wasting your time posting there?
I completely agree.
I mean, does anybody disagree with me? Like,
No.
You guys have any success with that?
I'll look in the feed to see if anyone's responding, and I never really see any responses.
Nobody. They're like, hey, I'm going to post here. You're posting the other land investors, which is cool. But now I know where you are. That's one of the things I don't like about Facebook, man. Like, hey, let's just all share.
It's like, thanks for giving me an inside look at your inventory, right?
I mean, I guess you could argue that kind of Landmodo does the same thing, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? I don't know. It depends.
It matters to you,
But
Scott.
look, to me, if you're going to post on Facebook, do what Mimi teaches, which is go to the market or go to the buy-sell groups, the local buy-sell groups. These things that are like lots are hot and everybody loves land. Nobody loves land except for you and me. That's it. And even then, I'm not sure that we love land. Like, we love the income stream that it produces, but the land to me is like, okay, cool. All right, I get off my soapbox now. And I will talk about kind of my a mistake that we just recently made. And this is one that was, look, we've made mistakes along the way. I've done the Scott Bossman mistake where you buy it and it's tenants in common or something else. And I probably made all these mistakes too. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, you can always make them better. But this one that we just did absolutely kills me. Here it is. We went out, we bought a property, and it was held joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Cool, right? The husband's deceased. No problem. Give us the death certificate. They did. So we bought this thing. We present the death certificate to the county. They record it. All is good. We sold the property for cash. The problem is that on the death certificate where it says marital status, it marked that he was divorced, not married. Therefore, because that death certificate was marked divorced, the joint tenants with rights of survivorship, which doesn't really make sense to me because it should transfer. The joint tenants with rights of survivorship split, and the fact is that they're telling us now we have to go through probate to clear that off. So we're fighting with the county right now to kind of get that resolved, because joint tenants with rights of survivorship is joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Period. In the story. Doesn't matter. In our opinion, it doesn't matter if they're divorced or not. They still have the right to it. So that's what we're working on, and that's kind of my biggest mistake right now. And I'll let you guys know how it works out. Okay. So I'm sure we can get it fixed.
Good luck.
All right, let's transition over to who's got the tip of the week. I didn't even ask in advance. Does Mimi have it? Does
I am. I don't know if you'll like it because if no one else has one, because I'm doing a quote.
Okay, go ahead. I love quotes. Don't tell Mike Zano that, but go ahead.
I wrote it on an email this week. I just love this. It's by Peter Drucker. Entrepreneurship is neither a science nor an art. It's a practice.
It's a practice.
Keep practicing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Keep practicing. Keep growing your business, and it's never done. If it's done, you're done.
I always, everyone says, "Oh, you can do this. You just got to keep going." And I doubt myself. I think they can do it, but maybe I'm not going to be a good salesman. They can do it. Maybe I'm not going to make sound business decisions. Well, I just need to keep practicing, and it's working.
Yeah. All right. Listen, that's a good quote, by the way, Mimi. Listen, if you are interested in learning how to scale your business, check out Flight School. Scott, the link is thelandgeek.com/training.
Training to schedule a call with Mike Zane or myself to talk about Flight School.
You guys have got, if you're on this call and you haven't taken action, please do yourself a favor. Talk to Scott Bossman. Talk to Mike Zano. Figure out how you can plug yourself in. Whether it's Flight School, the Investor's Toolkit, other types of training are available. Understand how you can scale your business. You can do it and to create the lifestyle that you want. And then you can, be on here and you can we can debate Facebook groups for land only or not. That's a good question for the group too. Should you do it or not? Let's see what you guys say. And take action. Learn more at thelandgeek.com/training. I look forward to teaching you and showing you how I built my business, and that's what we do in Flight School. Learn how you can grow your passive income. That's a great start to go. Also, you can get lots that's looking over Tate's shoulder. Don't forget about that. Who doesn't want to look over Tate's shoulder? I'm on this call right now. I'm looking over his shoulder the other way, and I'm wondering what's on his screen right now. What's he doing? Don't you guys want to know what he's doing right now? I do. I have my.
I hope he's paying attention to this call.
Yeah. I'm multitasking, Eric. I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
All right. So let's do this. Ready? Bearland's got to mute himself. 1, 2, 3. Let freedom ring. All right. Thanks, everybody. Tate, what is on your screen right now, man?
Berenice, the bike race.
Oh, okay.
Just watching it like on the other screen. I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure about that. Well, what we need is the ability to like spot check everybody's screen. Show me what's on your screen right now.
That's why I have the iPad beside me.
Oh, so in case we did the spot check, Mimi's clean.
The Bachelor.
iPad over here, though.
That's what you need in Flight School, I bet. Make sure they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Not browsing Facebook.
That would be good. But you know where we won't need that is in Flight School Live, because we'll be able to see them right there. We'll be able to wander the room. What are you doing? Why are you on Facebook now?
No, we need to get a ruler. We need to get a ruler, right? Like,
oh yeah.
As soon as they change tabs,
I got the mini bat. We got the mini bat. Don't worry.
That's good too.
We need a ruler. We'll start breaking mini bats.
How about one of those electric fly swatters?
Listen, that would be.
You should bring the big bat for that weekend, Scott.
What I can see this now. Like we got the mini bat. I need the ones that break very easily, like these breakable mini bats. So then I'm like, "You're gonna mail," and I slam it on the desk, and it breaks into pieces. But it's all like, maybe it's foam or something, right? Like, psh, oh man, or I like bend it, bam, be great.
They're like those stage bottles. They're made from sugar or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I need. Sugar to go flying around my office.
Your dog will be happy.
The dog.
My dog will die from the sugar. Thanks to Bearland. Bearland's killing my dogs over here.
Hey.
What's the Tate? You going to the Cheesecake Factory for lunch now?
Yeah, totally.
How'd you get on that? Went from the donuts. What was with the donut boxer? Donuts.
Oh, you like that? That was just.
Out biking.
What was that?
It's just, I was just out eating some donuts and wanted to brag and show you guys that you could be eating donuts too. I mean,
So funny.
no, Mark's he's on a vacation and he's eating at one of my favorite places that I like to go to buy cheese. Not at the Cheesecake Factory.
They sell cheese at the Cheesecake Factory? I thought it was
No, I don't
cheesecake.
eat the Cheesecake Factory. Like I said, it's too loud. It's like having a meal by yourself there.
Yeah. We're gonna be able to twist this for years and years and years to come. I know we are.
That's
There
his
is a
favorite
cheesecake down the
restaurant.
street from me. Sometimes I go and pick up cheesecake to go, though.
Yeah. You're saying it's loud, man. Like,
It's so loud.
but Tate, you're acting like an old man with a hearing aid, man.
Listen, I only go to daytime movies. I go to bed, early. I'm trying to get up early in the morning. Like, I'm not, to me,
Discipline.
like seeing a movie when the teenagers are out of school, that's like the worst thing in the world, right? I want to be.
Well, you don't like it when the older kids are there?
Yeah, they're just loud and they're always texting one another. I like it with the seniors because they're respectful. I mean, sometimes when they whisper, it's not a whisper, but other than that, they're really good moviegoers. They're content. They sit down. They're not up and down. I'm an old man trapped in the body of a 29-year-old, Scott.
All right, man. Geez, Tate, I don't know what to do with you, but go to the Cheesecake Factory, man. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later.
But
Geek guys, what is a happening?
What's going on?
How we
What's going
doing?
on? Doing well. Mike Zano,
Okay.
Matt Forbes. How you fellas doing?
Bossman?
It's
We always need to do a mic check at the beginning because Scott likes to drown us out. He likes to drown out us East Coast guys.
yeah.
Yeah, you're very loud today, though, Mike. You sound great.
Yeah, we would like
That's because I've been recording TikTok videos.
yes. We would like some feedback from the audience as they roll in. How is our sound this evening? Typically, I'm a little loud, and I drown out the boys, so we don't want that. But yeah, fellas, what's going on? So we got people rolling in here. We should take a minute to welcome anyone to the show who has not seen us before.
Could be their first time.
Could be their first time watching Nightcap with the Land Geek guys. So, Matt
Painful.
Forbes, you haven't done this in a while.
No,
For
not
the
me.
audience, let's do the 30-second fast. 30 seconds or
Oh.
less, Matt Forbes. Why are we
Oh,
here?
I love it.
What is our function? Why are we here? What are we doing at 10 o'clock
What do you-
Eastern? It's so late. Wah wah.
So-
I can't
what do you-
drink
what
it
is
so
it you
late.
do here? I never know what she's doing. What do we
Matt,
do?
10 seconds. I know you can.
We are land investors. So if you're new to the channel, we buy and sell raw land. It's a great little side hustle, turn full-time job for some of these yokels. It's a great way to create passive income. And so here we are. Going to teach you how to do it
Love it.
and or answer
I love it.
questions.
You know what?
Or
I'm going
not.
to drink to that. Watch out. I'm getting some whiskey. I'm drinking to that.
Oh, whiskey sounds so good.
Oh yeah, my bourbon is really yummy tonight, Forbes. I thought of you the other night actually because I had an old fashioned in a bottle.
Oh,
It wasn't
nice.
Bully Boy. It was crap. I'm blanking right now. I'll get
What are
it.
you drinking there, Sarah?
Yeah, well, the problem I'm having is, remember that whole saying, liquor before beer in the clear, beer before liquor, get
Never
sick
sicker.
quicker. I already had some beer, but you know what? Nightcap will keep me safe.
You wanna hold that bottle up? I'd like to know what that is.
Oh, this is, I don't know. It's I think my son got this for me.
Lafrag.
That's a
while
nice
back.
bottle. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a nice
So
bottle
we-
right there. That's kind of some of my favorite stuff. You're gonna be very chatty in about 40 minutes, I think.
By the way, you know, I have another friend in the fire department that's doing a little anniversary now. My buddy Keith, he might be watching, so I'm going to give him a little cheers because he's a fellow whiskey lover.
What's up, Keith?
What's up, Keith? That's awesome.
Like
That's
that.
exciting stuff. We got some other people here. Scott Lanford is here. How are you, Scott? John, I'm going to say Zeke with a silent D. So, Zeno, you say it. We'll see. John will let us know if we're right. DZIKI.
Well, spell it again.
DZIKI.
Zeke.
I think it's Zeke too.
Sounds right.
Sound right for
that
us?
Scott Lanford actually called me Dr. Zeno today for my land advice. I thought that was pretty funny. It's okay,
Ooh.
Scott, and brag. So, like, Dr. Zeno, paging Dr. Zeno to the land room. Paging Dr. Zeno to the land room.
Oh my God. Don Rafael is here. Don, how are you? He's drinking Natty Light number 4.
Oh,
Hey,
Don?
Light. Let's
is
go
that
back.
Don, what are you in?
four, or it's his fourth one? I'm confused.
Don,
Is that
what are you
like
in? Are you in grad school? Because that's reminds me of grad school days.
Yeah, dude. Natty Light Ice. Let's go.
The guy with the bottle sound is off. That's you, Zeno. Yes, Zeno, you are a little jumpy over there, so I don't know what's going on.
Uh-oh. Matt said I sounded good. Now I'm
Well,
jumpy.
Yeah, you're definitely jumpy. I'm not sure
Okay,
that's the
well,
right word, but
Test.
Yeah.
Test.
It's not just your sound either.
Oh.
Rodney Haley's here. Rodney, how are you? Brent Cokie? Cook?
Does this sound better?
No.
no.
Brent says, let's make some money. Brent, I love it.
There we go.
Let's see if we can make some money this show. Let's see if anybody on the call can get a doc fee during the show,
Oh,
or how else can we make money this show?
I thought we were gonna say if you,
All right.
if you sold.
Can I get a
deals.
sound check? I want to mention something, but I got to make sure I don't sound off. Am I better?
You're a little jumpy, and your video is actually a little laggy. So you might have a bad connection, Mike.
Oh, no. This is crazy.
Oh no!
Oh no! Facebook user, I gotta log on to Facebook to see who you are. He says, "Don't let the emotion get in the way of the jumpy."
I like that.
How
Good
about I log off and log back on?
All right.
Okay.
Well, you might need to maybe shut some programs down or restart the router or something.
Will I speak live if I do that?
No, you
I
go
think
ahead.
The gain is turned way up on yours, and so it's dropping down to mitigate it.
Oh,
That's
man,
my own guess.
There we go. I just dropped my gain down. How's that?
No, it's fine.
Is that better?
No,
jumpy.
you still yeah. Log out, log in. Come back to us.
So anyway, those of you watching, we're here to talk land investing. So if you have questions, let's talk. If you have had deals this week, we want to know the numbers.
Let's go.
We
Come
want to
on,
hear the
baby.
numbers.
I got some deals.
I got some deals too. Let's see. I think I was just looking today. 10 deals in September.
Whoa,
It's all right.
sexy. That's sexy. What are you talking about? That's
It's an all right month. A couple
over
big
two-
cash
2
deals. You know those cash deals, Forbes. They move the needle, dude.
I had two. I had two of my little scrub properties that I buy for 1,000 or 1,100. Sold two for $3K each.
That's amazing.
Like-
That's awesome.
And I'm like, all right. I'm like, Anne's like, do you want to? And I'm like, no, but I guess I'll take $6,000. So yes, but no, I want the passive. But yeah, you give me the $6,000. It's, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
Hand it over. And she's bought a bunch of property from me. that's a big time repeat buyer for us, and that's why I said yes. Otherwise, I would have said no.
I had a repeat buyer today as well, which was awesome. But yeah, Mark talks about the best passive income model, and I really do believe that's true. But what people need to realize is that 25% of our deals are cash deals, and
Yeah.
those things they move the needle for sure. So
Yeah, they're big. I didn't get them when I first started. It's only been the last year or two where I've gotten a bunch. But yeah, I oddly, ever since I incentivized my my land salesperson by giving her 10% of my cash deals, I got a lot more cash deals. It's crazy.
oddly,
Hello. Hello. It's crazy. I can't believe that.
yeah,
So,
discounted cash deals. No, that's awesome. That's great.
that's good.
The property I sold today, Forbes, this is crazy, honestly. I was looking at it today. I bought this property in 2017.
That's a long time ago.
Do you know how many times I've sold this property?
4.
Today is number 6.
No way.
I've sold this property 6 times. I don't know what it is. It's a beautiful property. It's got trees. It's got power.
Is it that crap in Florida you tried to sell me?
No.
Okay.
But like, I don't even know what my cost basis is on this property anymore.
There is no cost basis. It's free. It's been paid for years.
Well, it's negative, right? But I should sit down one day and
you can't
see.
Have a negative cost basis.
Well, you know what I mean.
Calculation doesn't work. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I mean, that that happens.
And
that's amazing.
And part of me feels like, I don't know, part of me feels a little bit bad about it. But
why?
I don't know. I just, like, 6 people I've sold to. But then I don't know, for whatever reason. It's I don't know. But I always say, come back later, we'll give you a credit. Customer service, right?
Yeah, there's definitely something about this business where you have to sort of go like, huh. And you have that moment where you go, wait, am I taking advantage of somebody? Like, what's the deal? And the reality is you're not at all.
No, you're not.
If somebody wants to go buy that, I mean, what did you do? Stick a gun to their head? Like, they wanted to go buy it, they bought it. You're at least nice enough to let them out of the contract when they decide they want to default.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been super nice apparently 5 freaking times with this property, but no, I don't feel bad at all.
No, I don't. I don't think bad is the right word. I don't know what it is. Maybe just a sheepish. I don't know. I don't know what the word is.
Well, just because you're making so much money, but I mean, what are you going to do? Give it to the next person? Because
right, exactly.
Other people defaulted. I mean, come on.
Don Rafael says it's on an Indian burial ground. I don't think so. I don't think anything's wrong with the land. I think I would have heard by now if something was, I don't know.
Poltergeist.
Don's got a tax question. Ooh, good time.
All right. Oh, all right. We'll get to Don's question here in a second.
Okay.
It's only been 6 months. Y'all got to see it coming by now. If a comment is stupid, it's James Simmons. James Simmons. It's Matt Forbes. It's your spirit animal.
I love James Simmons.
Your aminal.
Nice.
James Simmons. Let's see. Joel Peterson is here. Just started flight school last night. It was awesome. And I've been working on the homework all day. Nightcap is his break for the night. So, Mike, do you remember we talked to Joel yesterday and he was feeling a little bit lost in the weeds? And
Right.
we're like, just wait till tonight. So
Right.
hopefully, Joel, you had a little bit of clarity on county research last night. And hopefully it was a good session for you. It sounds like it was. Greg Mushin, 6 times a charm. Berserk, generally, what percent of a cut would you take from your listed value with a cash deal? So I think he's asking, are you asking if we have a cash value listed, what percent cut, like a discount, would we honor?
I think that's the question.
So let's answer it that way, and if that's not it, we'll come back to it. But Zano, if you list a property for $5,000 cash and a buyer contacts you and says, "I'll give you 4,000,"
You need 5,000 on terms.
uh,
And then,
I'm just saying if you're marketing it
whatever.
for 5,000 cash
Yeah,
and
right.
and a buyer
Yeah,
approaches you and says, "Hey, I'll offer you this much," what's
right.
your
Yeah.
philosophy
Well,
on that?
philosophy is if we're making money, we're going to sell it. We're not going to be attached to it. I think the other question was basically, is the cash price lower than the terms price? And typically we do have a slightly lower price if you're going to pay cash listed on
Yeah.
our site. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to get greedy. If it's a good deal, we're going to turn the deal in and keep going. It's not about one deal.
Yeah, I think Mark talks about 300% returns, right? 300 to 1,000% returns. But as Mark and Scott always say, are you gonna feel bad if you get a 200%? If you double your money, is that a bad day?
No.
Not a
And I
bad day.
just did some wholesale. I think 4 properties. I didn't even double my money each property, but it's 4 properties. Ended up being some good money there. You know, I don't care. I buy land all the time. If I'm making money, it's good. Plus, as a wholesale, you want the guy to make money so he'll come back and buy more. And the
Right.
price will go up. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, Zano. John Zeke, tax implications of taking cash. I assume capital gains if time applies. If you have to take back property and then sell for cash as a capital gain. So Scott Todd covers this in his Accounting for Land Investors course. Vacant land is exempt from capital gains, I believe. So that's not tax advice, but
Yeah, we can't give tax advice or legal advice, but we can sure drink and make up things.
Eric Dempsey has some leads for Eric Dempsey has some leads for land parcels in New York. So far, I have an interview sheet with basic questions. Is the name, what names are on the deed? What are the taxes? What's the access light, et cetera. He's gonna look at comps. Wondering where I can get a purchase agreement contract. So Eric, I believe you you have the toolkit or flight school. I think you've been through flight school. And the purchase, correct, Eric? You've been through flight school? Or the toolkit. Let me know that. And some further points on due diligence. So Michael, talk real quick, just a little bit about due diligence. So Eric's in the process, right, of determining whether or not this is a good deal for him. So what are some of the things he needs to look at to be confident that he can move forward in this?
Yeah. So aside from the obvious of, are you talking to the person who actually can convey title to you? Which isn't always so obvious, right? Because it could be somebody who believes they have the capability to transfer title to you, but in fact, they do not. It could be a nephew, a son, whatever. So first, make sure that's good. Then taxes, use of the property. But thing is, listen to the whiskey pour. Is what's the market value of the property and what are you paying for it? The other thing is, I don't know if he has happened upon these or this is an area he was mailing. We typically strive to mail one specific area at a time because a lot of this due diligence is done in the county research phase. So if you're mailing the subdivision with hundreds or thousands of properties prior to mailing, you're looking at things such as what's the use of the properties here? What's the market value? What's the yearly taxes look like? How's the county work if someone's late on taxes? Is it tax lien, tax deed? I mean, you're doing these things as sort of a prepping to mail. So if you do all that, then it really comes down to, hey, who are you? Do you have the ability to convey title? And what's the tax burden? The rest you already would know.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some state specific things too that so I believe in New York, because believe it or not, I've done one deal in New York. It was kind of a logistical nightmare. There are some things you're going to want to check with the county recorder office to see exactly what you need when you record a deed. You're going to want to check the cross your T's and dot your I's with how many, because I believe there are some state taxes you need to pay if you do a deal in New York. Well, that's on the sell side, but anyway, so it's just kind of an interesting. It's not our typical land investing state, and I kind of found that out the hard way back in the day. So I've stayed away ever since. But Eric, hopefully that helps. He is not a toolkit or a flight school student, so I
What?
guess, yeah. What exactly?
Who is this?
Eric
Who is this?
Dempsey. Let's have a call.
Eric, don't you know the best education, best investment, I'm sorry, is in yourself? Listen, you want to crush this business, talk to us. You can still get a long way on your own if you really pay attention and you put the hard work in. But why not shortcut it? Give us a call.
Stuck on the tax thing.
What tax thing?
Oh,
the
we haven't got
capital
that
gains?
question yet?
Yeah.
Well, okay, what are you stuck on?
So you know how much I suck at taxes, so I don't do it. I pay someone to do it. But I'll have to go back in and look last year because I thought you did pay capital gains
On vacant land?
So I'll have to go look.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you did pay capital gains. So
We're going to defer everybody to Scott Todd's accounting for land investors class.
Well, there's an exemption if it's adjacent to your house, but we wouldn't qualify for that. But there's other exemptions I don't know about. I took Scott Todd's course, and then immediately, actually halfway through it, deferred everything to someone else. I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. This is terrible. So I'm gonna go investigate that because I want to know. That's interesting.
All right, you let us know what you find out.
I will.
If it's different than what I said. Jeremy Peer, great tip, Mike. Don't be attached to the property. Move it and increase the velocity of money. Jeremy, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a great, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliff Notes version of what Mike Zano said. You guys remember Cliff Notes?
Yeah. You don't
Yellow
need those anymore. You just need a
lines.
computer. Is Wikipedia the Cliff Notes now of the?
I think Cliff Notes still has a really great website actually, but it's all free now. But I remember when I was in college, you go into the bookstore and you could buy the Cliff Notes version of the Odyssey and all this stuff. And I was telling my boys about Cliff Notes recently, and they're like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" I'm like, "Well, you have to remember this was pre-interweb days, right?"
What about going to the library and pulling out the long
The card catalog
drawer and flipping through looking for your book?
The COD catalog.
God catalog.
Yeah. I had my teachers at my high school sat me down the first day and they were like, we know you all buy the Cliff Notes, so let's be clear. There will not ever be a single question on the test that can be answered by you reading the Cliff Notes. So when you read the book, read the Cliff Notes first and then read the book. And then you're going to have to learn all the other stuff. I'm like, crap. Fine. But that's what I would do. I would read the Cliff Notes and then I would read the book.
I bet you really
Awful.
retained that well, though. Because
Well, it kind of helped you guide, the book. I mean, this is like, I was not a very good student. Let's be clear. Let's
be clear.
Let's be clear. I'm not in the cum laude society for sure.
Magna cum laude. Let's see here.
Yes.
Craig Van Tine. Matt Forbes, what is the average deal size you deal with?
I deal with sort of like two. I work in a couple areas where stuff's pretty cheap, and I buy them for like $1,000 to $2,500, $3,000, kind of like a lower end. And I generally are selling those for $125 to $175 a month for however long. I don't even know, like forever. And then, for whatever, 72 months or 80 months or whatever the number ends up being. I can go look in Airtable if we really want the answer. But then the other ones I do are like, I'm buying for 5 or 6 or 7 and I'm selling for 18 to 28,000. And I'm selling for, $250, $275 a month for literally forever, for 12 years, to keep that monthly payment reasonable, with like a $500 down payment. So I really like the second ones because you make way more money. I have notes that go into 2030, which is just awesome, right? Even if I shut it down today, I'd make money forever. So those are the ones. I will say my average note size is about $170 a month, $180 a month, somewhere in there. But
that's about what my average note size is as well. About $175 a month.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
Right. I like the bigger ones, but they're harder. They take longer to sell. But they're a different class of buyer, right? Like I don't get a lot of people default or who give the land back in those bigger properties. The cheaper ones are like $100 a month or $125 a month. That's where I see a lot of riffraff. And it's like, okay, great. Yeah. So, you can buy it for, whatever, 6 months and then give it back if you want, and we'll go sell it to someone else. Apparently 6 separate times on the same piece of land. Laws, man.
6 times on the same property. It's insane.
It happens. Yeah.
Dan Foley's here. Of course, we can rely on Dan. Land is ordinary income if you are a dealer. So your accountant, everybody, the bottom line is talk to an accountant. And when you're in this business, you need to be treated as a dealer. And then it's ordinary income. Thank you, Dan,
it's the right in where the sun don't shine is what it is. But it's okay because it's
usually a bad thing where the sun don't shine.
Well, it's funny because when I first started doing this and I would explain it to people, they're like, oh, well, that's, you're going to pay a lot in taxes. And I'm like, that's right. That's correct. I'm going to pay a lot in taxes, which means I'm going to probably keep a lot of money too. Certainly way more than I'm going to do in my regular job, where, by the way, I pay so much money. I looked at my paycheck today. So many tens of thousands of dollars go to the federal government. Same thing, right? So as a side hustle, I mean, I hate to say this because it's so painful, but the more taxes I pay, the more money I make. So I'm in.
Yeah.
As long as what's good is if you're using something like a profit first, so you have, when that tax time comes, at least you have a percentage that you've already allocated. It's not a big surprise.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of property with that account.
I love it.
Forbes. You're funny. You're supposed to put it in a different bank account that's untouchable, Forbes. Leave the tax account alone.
It was just there, and the deal was there.
I feel like it's Vegas. I just took it off. It's the money I'm going to make on that is going to more than pay the taxes for the next couple of years.
Right. Thank you. So
I'm going to pay the taxes for the next 3 years. The money I'm going to roll.
You'll be fine.
Well, my account was like, so are you paying your quarterly taxes? And I'm like, 100%. I'm not. For sure that I'm not doing that the right way. And he's like, well,
buy this great land.
Well, here's what he said. I'm like, all right, so okay. So not that this is a show on taxes, because I don't know anything about taxes, literally nothing. So do not listen to anything that I say for sure. Right. But he goes, he's like, so you're going to pay him on time? And I'm like, I always pay him on time. He's like, well, I have this one customer who does what you do. And, he pays him late. And then eventually the IRS goes after him. And then they have a thing, and then he agrees to pay. And there's a penalty. He's like, but the penalty is like a very, very small amount of interest. And it's basically a loan from the government is how he looks at it. I'm like, that seems like dangerous territory. And I definitely don't want to be there. But
sounds like a Steven Seagal movie, Dangerous Territory.
Here's a funny story. There's
nothing
to do with
pop out of the birthday cake.
Yeah, that's a good movie. my buddy sold a company for like $3 million and didn't pay any of the tax. The IRS came, they were going to seize his house and everything. And he had his lawyer go, and they negotiated some crazy settlement that was 25 cents on the dollar that he then agreed to pay over 30 years. And I'm like, you're a scumbag. I'm like, you're that guy. I can't believe I like you. You're that guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm that guy, except I got a $700,000 loan paid over 30 years to the federal government for like $299 a month or whatever the numbers worked out to be. He's like, so who's the idiot? I'm like, not you. I am, for thinking that that was a bad idea before you told me that. Like, wow. So I know nothing about taxes.
I feel like that was a scene from Moneyball.
It was a crazy story, but it's true. This guy's a baller. I'm like, okay.
No, I mean
So
you
that-
presenting it was like a scene from Moneyball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Sorry. A little tangent there.
No, it was good. It was good.
Uh,
I love it. I love when Matt goes on the little. This is kind of like when we had the anniversary, and you know,
he's
Andy
not
did
as
drink.
loud.
And
He's
he wore
definitely
his
not
hat
as
backwards,
loud.
and he went on a rampage.
Do
I
you guys
did.
know that
I was off.
I happened to stumble upon, because I'm repurposing content for TikTok. By the way, all of you out there, we are now on TikTok at
we're
Land
not.
Geek Guys. At Land Geek
No.
Guys. Follow us on
And
TikTok.
since
My
we've added
son,
2 followers, 2
Not to
followers
our
have added us.
my son bets me that we cannot have 1,000 followers by Christmas, and I'm not sure what the bet is yet. I need to determine that with him, but we're gonna have 1,000 followers by Christmas. So at Land
Oh,
Geek
we have
Guys,
93 following now.
that's not bad. It's not
Wow.
bad. It's
Yeah,
been only
we
a,
have some cool videos and content on there. That one's almost got
Sounds-
100 views from today, Scott.
Sounds
100.
terrible.
Yeah, nice. Good work, dude.
We're
Tomorrow
cranking.
morning we'll have 400.
It's how to
Um,
build a list in under 4 minutes.
Yeah. How to build a list. Matt Forbes.
Bye.
He's
Matt
Doing
Forbes,
the
did you
trap.
know that you're on a TikTok video that's gotten over 1,300 views?
I don't think I want to know that. No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not
I
on the
didn't.
TikTok.
I didn't
I don't
even.
care.
Didn't even ask for your permission. I don't care.
I know. I know.
Um,
Wait till the lawsuit comes through. Can't wait.
Right. Yeah, I believe it.
Gotta take both your notes.
I can't remember what my point was. I had a point, and I
No one
lost it.
does.
Oh, I was excited because we have 32 viewers, which is pretty good.
Might be an
Pretty
all-time
good.
high.
So
Wow.
no, it's not an all-time
Okay.
high, but that should give us
More.
points of
John
just
Zeke,
points
one
for
more
live
follower
discussion.
on TalkTech.
oh
Nice.
really nice.
All
There
right,
it
John.
is.
John, you may not know this, but a little land angel just got his wings. Aw.
John, just because you
Uh,
did that, you look at that video that I just loaded, you and message me. We'll give you the long form version of that video. That's
Nice.
your prize for
So
tonight.
long
You
form.
guys do you guys do the land geek dance for TikTok? Jeremy, let me stop you right there. No, not unless we're all together wearing sweatsitos. Then maybe.
By the
Oh,
way,
oh.
I think next week we could probably bring back the sweatsitos. It's cold enough now.
It's
Yeah,
hot.
it is.
No, we're having an Indian summer here in Wisconsin. It's like 80 degrees. My air's on right now. Um, here's what I meant to bring up a minute ago. I stumbled across the anniversary episode, and I could only stomach about 30 seconds of it because 3 guys were so sloshed it wasn't even watchable.
Oh my god, was it
It
that
was
bad?
not. It was not good. And the sound.
Oh,
Matt Forbes, God bless you and all of your AV prowess, but things were not good AV wise.
Was that
Yeah.
prior to the? That was just prior to the big pizza party we had.
Yeah, we had
we ordered pizza at 1 a.m. after that show.
and it was
exhausting.
after the 10-hour party we had already had. So yeah, it was it's very interesting. So if
Yeah,
you guys want
Go
some,
back and why don't you make little TikToks out of that?
I think I may.
Land.
Yes, exactly. Sweatcito.
I heard him say
land.
land somewhere in that.
We just
Oh,
We
lost.
were so proud of ourselves too. We were so proud.
Questions?
We just
Question,
lost
send me
6
some
viewers.
Man, we'll
Question
bring 'em
from
back.
question from Brent Koke. Coke. How many properties do you keep available for sale? How many properties in your
As many as
inventory?
possible. As many as possible. But right now, I don't know.
Talk to me.
I don't know. 30.
Yeah. I don't have 30 right now, but if I could have any number, I would have at least 20.
If I could have any number, I'd have 500.
Right. The thing is that
More.
the whole business gets substantially easier when someone calls your salesperson and says, "I'm looking for X, Y, and Z," and you have more than 2 types of property to say, "Well, it's not either of these 2, but it could be one of these 3 over here. Check these out." Like your sales just start getting easier when you have more variety
Depth.
and when you have depth. Thank you. Exactly. When you know a market and you've got 6 just like them and you're advertising one and then that sells, you have another one right there waiting for you. And then you sell that one, there's still 4 more. And then you're buying one and you're up to 5 and you sell 2 and you're down to 3 and you buy 1 more. And because you have 9 gajillion ads in the universe for that one piece of
I
property,
love it.
getting the calls.
I love it. You just so accurately described it. That was beautiful. That's
What's going on TikTok?
Oh God, I gotta get off this show. I may not come back.
Repurposing.
I may not come back next week.
That's gonna go viral on TikTok.
Not-
Thank you, Matt.
It's not worth what you guys pay me to be.
That-
It can't be.
That reminds me, we do need to take a poll of the audience. 10 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. We got some boys
Or
out
8.
east.
Or 8.
or yeah,
8 o'clock Eastern.
This could be a heavily Eastern-based crowd that we don't even know. We want.
yeah. We should just try it. I mean, what if 8 people showed up instead of 7?
I mean, it's not nightcap It's not nightcap anymore if it's at 4 in the afternoon, boys. Come on.
Listen, I don't know about you, Bosman, but I like day drinking. I'm a pro at it, damn it. And then I go to bed and I can function the next day. So I'm a fan. All right.
All right,
I will
well-
get up, I will drink and go to bed by 7. That's my jam. That's my
doable.
happy place.
We got multiple people chiming in saying 10 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know what to tell you other than
All right, maybe we got a Pacific Standard Time crowd
other than
out
suck
there.
it up and whatever.
Well, Keith
What-
Forche says 8 Eastern is dinner time out west, but Keith, 10 o'clock is bedtime out east.
How about 9 o'clock Eastern?
Tell us all what you think about 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm willing to do 9 o'clock Eastern. Any earlier than that, it's just not nightcap. It's not. I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
Nah.
okay. I it's tough to argue with that point.
It's not
What?
nightcap.
A.S. Lanford, he says earlier is better.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do an hour earlier next week and see what
Even
happens.
9:30 could make a big difference.
And
Well, if
Eric
he wants
says
to-
Wednesday because Thursday is football now. He's got a point.
True.
There is value there. It's well done, Eric, even with your Yankee symbol. It's well done.
All right. Joel Peterson has a comment.
Let's hear it.
Doing county research over the last few days really has me understanding why so many land investors are out west. The land is generally cheaper.
Yeah.
Parcels are more uniform, and lots are much easier to price. And I would add one more thing.
Do it.
The market is just absolutely massive. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive out west. I'm not stumbling over Matt Forbes out west. I'm not stumbling over Mike Zano out west. Pick my area. I'm going to do deals there. But that was
Pretty much.
that was a great summary, Joel. I mean, okay. So, and why else, Mike Zano? Talk more about why west is best.
Well, he went over the abundance. There's an overabundance of land, the low foxy proxy taxes. It's usually fewer restrictions because you go out in these areas in the middle of nowhere and you can do whatever you want, and people love to do whatever they want. Let's face it. Matt talked about doing whatever you wanted earlier in the show relative to taxes. So we all want to do whatever we want. So I think out west is best for all that.
There is one huge, ginormous reason. Come to Boston. Look
Yeah.
at the streets.
Yeah.
How do they look? They all uniform? Is it easy to get around? No. It's a disaster. One ways going in every direction with bends and it's a disaster.
They're all horse
Just
trails. That's why.
Like properties in New England, there's no uniformity to it. You could never go price it. I can go out west and find 3,000 5-acre properties, spend 2 hours and price all of them.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, huge difference. That's why you go west. All those other reasons too. But I want to be able to find a subdivision, drill down, and I want to be able to price a bunch of land at the same time and then get those offers in the mail. Key.
And you can do it in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
TikTok.
only if you subscribe to TikTok and watch that video. Dan Foley has a question. What do you use to scrape Zillow data? So are you guys scraping Zillow data?
Oh.
No.
It's a heavy
And
scraper.
what, heavy scraper? Scraper.
It's a heavy scraper.
Scraper.
No, we're not
It's a
scraping
scraper.
What are we, hold on, why are we scraping Zillow? That's my first
I
question.
don't know. I may use Zillow for a comp here and there, but I'm not using it for scraping purposes.
County research, right?
Yeah.
So-
I'm,
Okay. Then WebHarvey.
Is that what he? Yeah. Oh, I think
have-
it's scraping. I mean, the gathering information where you can then use it for a
Yeah.
mailing or something.
Oh, no. Now, if you're doing county research, you could look at like WebHarvey to do some scraping. It's pretty easy. Even I can use it, but I haven't used it in a year. If you are trying to do this niche the way that it's described by these two yokels, then I would say if you're looking at Zillow and you're web scraping, you're going down the wrong path. That'd be my advice.
Well,
I don't know who that was.
Zillow also is a broker tool, right? So typically, I mean, there are some vacant land listings on Zillow, but typically the land listings on Zillow are a lot more expensive.
wrong.
Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because they're wrong. They're not. That's not the model. That's somebody
Yeah.
else's model. That's not the model.
I get you. I hear you.
Um,
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I want to like tell whoever this person is with Zillow that like you need to stop what you're doing, and go read the toolkit or something, because you're thinking about this the wrong way. That's all. Those are other models, right, for what you're looking to do, right? Go west, find a subdivision, find 100 or whatever,
I think-
1,000 or 500, price it and go.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
price it on the right sites. Price it on the lands, price it on Landmodo. You know, go on Craigslist, look at Facebook, look at what everybody else is selling it for. That's the real version of this. Zillow is going to have a couple of people who do this, but they don't do it this way. They sell retail. They're agents, and they're going to list it with the MLS. It's going to get picked up by Zillow, and you're going to have a false sense of what this stuff really is. That's my concern.
I like it.
Boxy.
I mean,
Jeez.
buying all real estate 25 cents on a dollar is going to be great. It's just we tend to do things that move quicker.
Yeah.
Volume.
Now, I will say this about Zillow. I'm
Like
frustrated because I sold a ton of land on Zillow last year. So I wasn't using it on the front end of the business for finding data or scraping or compiling a list or whatever. But I was using it for selling. And I had some good success there for a while. And then what
Okay.
I've learned in the last couple months is that what's that?
No, I'll just keep going. I'm going to go on Zillow right now and look
Well,
at an
in the
area
last
that
couple
I
months,
know for sure.
in the last couple months, there's been a big shutdown on for sale by owner listings on Zillow because it is a broker tool. Okay, so this week or this year we got thrown off Zillow. I can't post on Zillow anymore unless I use a MLS listing agent, something like that.
Yeah, they're
So-
a pain.
Yeah. Well,
Sold
they
a
can
couple
be.
with those.
Ken Green is here.
What up, Ken?
Ken Green again with the Cliff Notes version of what Matt and Mike
Hold on,
said. Make the money, pay the taxes. It's a good problem to have.
Hell yeah.
Very true.
Here's the problem. I'm looking at like America's favorite county, and somebody's posting stuff for 100,000 and 119, and a different one,
Those are homes.
for 119.
Those have to be homes. Use your
It's
filter
enough.
for vacant land.
It's
Look at
always
vacant.
land.
No.
Control yourself. 7 acres for $69,000. 7 acres for $12,000. You go on Zillow, you're going to get a bunch of false positives. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to hurt you.
Yes.
Don't go do that. If you know what you're doing, it's fine. You can weed through the BS pretty quick. But if you don't and you're new, it will hurt you. Go to the lands, go to the other land geek people who are out there doing it. You'll get a much more solidified pricing structure that works because they're all doing it. Sorry.
Good point. Foxy Proxy, good point.
Drop the mic, Matt
Hey,
Forbes.
bud.
Drop the mic. Yeah, this is what happens when Matt Forbes doesn't drink. He gets angry.
I'm not angry. I'm trying to help whoever that person was. I don't want to
Angry
see them
Matt
fail
Forbes.
and go, huh?
Angry Matt Forbes.
I'm not angry. I don't. There's so much bad information out there about how to do this, right? That's just bad. And I don't know where her person saw Zillow, and I don't want people to think that since we're talking about Zillow, I don't want people to think that that's a good resource. That's all.
It's not a good resource for what we do in the land geek community. We focus on the smaller dollar deals, right?
Yeah.
It's where the money is for us. We love selling land for 100 down, 100 a month. We love those deals.
Yeah.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar bill, y'all.
We love those deals, Dan Foley. We love them. When you get to 100 or 200 of those deals, it's pretty awesome. Craig Van Teen, does it take a ton of time to get the liquidity to keep buying and then cash flowing off of notes?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna be a little different with that situation and what they come to with capital and so on and so forth. But no, I don't think it takes that long. There's always a percent they're gonna sell cash, and we want to have our money back in 10 months if we're following the model. So yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you'll be producing enough.
But I think so. You can be smart about this, right? You can wholesale property. You can sell notes. You can, you're going to get your cash deals. You're going to get your terms deals. So, I mean, Craig, we should talk. We have people going through our flight school program. Matt Forbes, we have people going through our flight school program doing between 30 and 100 deals after flight school. Craziness.
Crazy.
Those people are, I guarantee you, those people are making money after their first year, right?
Yeah, you definitely do. But understand it's a cash intensive business. If you think you're going to go
sure.
and buy a bunch of land cheap and sell it on terms, and just keep buying land and selling it on terms, like you're going to run out of cash pretty quick unless you have a boatload of cash. So you need to wholesale stuff. You need to flip it for cash. You need to dump it and get your cash back and do it again. You need to get investors. It's a whole thing. You will eventually be good to go be buying property with the money you're making and let it feed on itself. But you need to be probably either a more active participant in the raising of cash in the beginning, or be super cool with, going slower. And both of those are fine, right? I mean, we know, Scott, people who flip, not flip, but they, sell a property, a month or every other month. And it's like, it's just spending money and that's all they need. They're good. Like, that's fine.
Right.
And then we know, idiots like me who are like, it's never enough. It's never going to be enough.
I want to own all the land, all of America.
That's it. I want 9 million notes. So yeah, it's but
9
it is cash
million.
intensive.
But, yeah.
The other thing is, like, I've talked about this many times, but like Mark Podolsky told me very early on. Mark Podolsky, the land geek, like this guy's done 6,000 deals. He's an expert. He's an expert in all areas of life, not just land. The guy's brilliant. He's an authentic person. There's so much money out there. You can find the money. I've used family.
Yeah.
I've
No
used
problem.
family money. I've used
Right.
bank money. I've used a lending company, right? Forbes, I told you this. 3 years into my business, I had established that we had a business that was making money. You can find a small business loan for very low interest, and man, you can get a ton of money. And
Right,
what do you
for
do with
cheap.
that? What do you do with a ton of money for cheap? You buy a lot of land. And that was a needle mover in my business for sure. So
Yeah.
there's all
Number
sorts of
one,
ways to make this
control
work
the deal. Control the deal, and then funding will come.
for sure.
Yes. It's just part of it. Like, and don't be scared. There's plenty of money out there. There's plenty of ways to do this. It's only a hurdle in your mind if you think it is. It's really not. It's not a true hurdle,
Right.
right? There's lots of people in the community, frankly, that have made a ton of money who are wealthy coming into it, and they're looking for a place. They're looking for people to partner up with. I got 1 million partner deals because I don't have a lot of cash, or I didn't when I started. I haven't done a partner deal in a while, but
Right.
you know,
The options are out there.
Who's all above the partner deals now?
who's that?
Well,
Who's,
he
who's all
only
above?
partnered with you anyway, Bossman.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. He's calling me all the time. Now he never calls. He never calls. He never writes.
All right,
He never
hold on.
He had that
boxes.
secret Voxer chat. Oh,
Never
about
boxes.
that special
No.
deal we're
No,
doing.
no.
I bought a bunch of wholesale stuff. I have Landarb from you.
I'm telling you, two
Well,
years
I
ago.
was done a joint venture.
I saw your payment come through for $500 the other day. Stick it, man. And then you little jerk, we
What's
partnered
he
on some
buying
deals.
from us
I'm
for
making you
500?
money.
You still buying
right.
something from us?
What's that?
You still have something from us?
Yeah, I bought a 5 deal thing, and that are Landar,
Where is that?
Texas.
Let me guess. I was
Oh,
going to
that's
say
right,
Texas.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
Short, man.
Foxy Proxy.
Matt Forbes, you got to bring your drone out there.
I love it. That
He
was
already
fun.
fake camped out there once.
Bought
Yeah,
a
right.
fake? I almost
I
died
think-
out
Bought
there.
a tent that he couldn't even fit his whole body in.
That was the smallest tent.
The coyotes would have chewed him off at the ankles.
That I returned.
Woke up with no legs
I want my
'cause
$40
he
bucks
was in the
back.
tent.
I don't know why James Simmons says Scott Bosman was in the Odyssey. Remember I was talking about the Odyssey earlier? He said it was in the Odyssey. Does
Wait,
that
is
mean I'm
the one
old?
with the guys hanging from the ceiling and they're opening up the? Is that the Odyssey?
No,
Oh, this
I-
is Poseidon Adventure. You ever see the Poseidon Adventure? Anybody?
I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds like Indiana Jones to
At
me.
the very end, what's
I
his
don't
name?
know.
Gene Hackman, is it? Or
Yeah.
and
Hackman
he's
was
hanging.
inside of this.
He's the priest and he's giving the speech.
Yeah.
Great movie. You haven't seen that, Bossman? The Poseidon
I-
Adventure?
That's a
long
good one.
time
Yeah,
ago.
the original one's good. They made a new one with
Did
like
they?
Kurt Russell, like a decade
Of
ago.
course, it was Kurt Russell.
That guy's awesome.
So, oh, wait, hold on. So, but I don't know how to pronounce that.
Berserk.
Is it Berserk? Okay. Goes, I like how they sell so much land they can't keep track of it anymore. LOL. The struggle is real, man. Okay, we're talking hundreds of properties. It's not our fault. I mean, you can't keep track of, 90, 100 notes with another. You're buying 10, you're wholesaling these, you're selling those for cash. Like, it's a great problem. Don't get me wrong. And I get your humor because I think I used to make fun of these two idiots with the same thing. But at this point, I can't keep it
Then
all
you
straight
joined the
either.
club.
Yeah, it's if somebody had said, "Oh, it's a good problem to have," that's a great problem to have. You get so many notes like, and somebody else is taking care of it. Like I don't even know. Send me an email if we sell something. Send me an email if somebody defaults. Send me an email if you got a problem. Other than that, have a great day.
I love it. Rodney Haley, what is the best way to convert Facebook inquiries to buyer leads? Do you point them to your
Ooh,
website or
no,
No,
Landmodo,
no,
Landflip? What do you do?
no. You engage them first and foremost. Don't go for the kill right away. Engage them. And then after you get that connection, get them on the phone and sell them the property.
yeah, on the phone,
How do you make money on the internet?
on the phone.
On the phone.
Now you do sound like Mark Podolsky, but it's true, right? You got to get that relationship to a point where you can have a conversation with them and then take the credit card. Sounds crazy, but happens all the time.
Try to get a little creative. Is it available? Why? Actually, it is, but there's a number of people interested. Is there any specific questions you have? Would like to talk about on the phone? Like just
Yes.
you just gotta get creative. I think if you start to do, I do think as a side note, if you start to really like copy paste, I think they might. That is part of the algorithm, I believe. I think you're a bot, and so be careful of that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't copy paste. You gotta you physically have to write stuff in, but the phone. I mean, not everybody. You can sell stuff on chat.
Yeah.
Right? Happens all the time, but the majority of your Facebook leads that will eventually buy, if you're doing it right, in my opinion, will come from the phone.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Another tool I love on Facebook is, I mean, and my sales guy does this now, and I'll do it occasionally, is this is why I'm so good at TikTok. You hold the phone up in front of you, you take a video message, and you send them a message. For
Yeah,
those
love it.
people, Matt Forbes, that don't want to get on the phone,
Mhm.
it actually it works quite well. I mean, they can
Yeah.
see that you're
Love it.
a real.
Convey something. Yep.
You can convey your authenticity. You can,
Yep.
you can convey your excitement in the property. But I think what's important, Rodney, is you need to jump on those leads in a timely manner. Try to get them on the phone. If you can't get them on the phone,
Yeah, they do have a life expectancy.
yeah,
It's
text
short.
message is good.
Like a half-life, is that what you'd say? Like
Yeah, it's a half-life,
Yeah.
and it's a short half-life. If you're gonna get real about this business, it's a short half-life.
Because if you're too long, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, thank you, I already bought something." That's true.
Or not that interested, or they saw your ad, and at that one moment, they were like, "Wow, that's cool. I want to learn more," and then that moment is gone.
Right.
Right.
And the further you get away from that moment, the more they don't really care.
A moment like this. Sing it, please.
Oh God,
A
no.
moment like this. Some
Are you
people
singing?
wait a lifetime.
No.
Come
Are
on.
you're really singing Shania Twain right now,
That's not
dude?
Shania Twain. A moment like this, is it? I thought it was Whitney Houston. Am I wrong?
Oh, I thought it was the other girl.
Anybody out there? A moment like
Pretty
this?
sure it's
Kelly
Shania Twain.
Clarkson? Certainly not Kelly Clarkson.
No,
A moment like this.
Whitney Houston. I'm gonna look it up.
It's not
Shania-
Kelly Clarkson though, right?
No,
Maybe when she won, she sang that.
that's Shania Twain, dude.
That's Leona Lewis, sung by Kelly Clarkson.
James Simmons says Lady Gaga.
Oh, Jesus.
I
Lady
like what you're
Gaga.
thinking. I saw
No.
her live in concert. She's one of my
You like
favorites.
Lady Gaga. Do you know that we have so many questions tonight, I can't even get through them all. That's exciting. I don't know what it is. But
A moment like this is the debut single by American singer Kelly Clarkson.
no,
There must be a moment like this.
I think there is.
I'm gonna go
I
on
think
mute. I'll be back.
All right.
I feel bad leaving all these questions unanswered. Do we keep going?
Well, we have working lunch. We have next week. We want people to listen. We're all about bringing. If you commit to your own success, we're going to commit to help you. You start working in the toolkit, you're going to have access to our working lunch every week, 2 to 3 Eastern Standard Time, right on Zoom. You come right in there, ask anything you want. And then, if you want to go to flight school, you're going to get unlimited Voxer support from us on top of that. We're going to keep layering support there. So we're here to do that. All right,
It's really Kelly Clarkson,
yeah.
All right.
This song, a
but it's like
moment like
super.
this.
She
You know
looks
what? You're
very
thinking of like the Hallmark. It's like the Hallmark commercial song. I'm telling you, it's like the jingle. That's what you're thinking of.
Maybe.
That
I
doesn't
love
at
you.
all look like Kelly Clarkson. I'm
Um,
confused.
Won American Idol like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Did she win it?
Jeremy
Years
Peer.
ago. I think
I,
number
I
one at
missed
American Idol.
Jeremy Pierre's question. All right, Jeremy Pierre, since you're so awesome, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna answer your question. Man, there's a lot of comments, a lot of questions.
Well, let's go. What do we
Here we
got?
go.
Let's go rapid fire.
Have any? Well, we can rapid fire. We're gonna have to rapid fire for the next 15 minutes. Have any of you rezoned a lot to be a larger size, like 4 half-acre lots into a 2-acre lot?
No.
I know where
Sell
I
them
know where
together.
you're
I just
talking,
sold them all
Jeremy.
together.
Sell them together. Next.
Next.
Sell them together. Let the buyer worry about the rezoning. As long as you know
don't have
it's
to rezone.
possible.
Yes. You don't have
You-
to rezone if you
Listen, this is
own
rapid fire. You're going way too in depth for rapid fire. Next.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
How do you get money from your note? Say you want to buy an investment property. How do you use them to cover the down payment?
Sell the note. Next.
TLfolio.com. They'll buy your note. And
What's
they'll
up?
give
You
the
can sell
upfront down.
notes? Holy crap. Yes, you can. Next.
TLfolio.com. What would be the perfect mix of buying and selling and then holding notes in order to not run out of cash where you can't buy anything new?
That's very specific to your situation, depending on how much capital you have available. I don't sell notes. So
Me neither.
because I have the capital now to do that, right? So it's all dependent, In the beginning, you might be selling more notes, but after a while, I think the note selling will stop, and you won't need to do that anymore.
I never sold a note. You don't have to. It's a great way to raise a little bit
But
of
you
money.
can hold a note.
What's up? What? It's if you need cash, you wholesale something so that you can go buy something else. You double your money,
Cash now.
and that's it. I mean, literally, you can wholesale something in 5 minutes. So if you're like, oh crap, I need to go buy that property, you go wholesale something, you double your money on that one, you get enough money to then go buy the next property, and you keep going. So there's no formula like that. It's how much cash did you start with and how is it going? But know that those levers are there in the business to go make those decisions. And you just
There
keep
wasn't a
going.
lot of note selling when I was first doing it, but I can't say that I didn't go to people and say, "Hey, you owe me $8,000. Would you like that property for 6 if we
Sure.
get done?" And I generated cash that way. I mean,
Yep. Yeah. End of year discount. Yeah. I'll take 2,000 off if you pay it off right now. Sometimes they say yes. Next.
Love it. 10 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern,
baby.
10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, 10 is dumb.
Just give me a good warning. 9. So we have 3 9s and 3 10s. 10.
I hear a 9:30.
9.
All right. Let's try it. Just try it.
John Zeke has a Ferrari channel that does a live show on Thursday, so the later the better. A Ferrari channel, John Zeke. I want to watch.
Be competing with Ferrari.
First of all, they don't even let fat people in those cars, so I can't support this Ferrari nonsense.
All right, here's the next one. Rapid fire. Out west, any places better or worse? I know Colorado is one of the hottest, but from us in the east, where do you start?
Look on Landmodo and see everybody else is working. Mirror the areas. Follow the breadcrumbs. Next.
Yep. That.
James Simmons, I stopped comparing what everyone else is doing, and he went with his gut. Ken Green, recipe has been made for the 5-star reference. 5-star restaurant, don't reinvent. Greg Mushin. Greg, what is America's favorite county?
Starts with a C and ends with an A.
Yeah, we're all gonna say it.
And it's in Colorado. No, solve it. Next.
Zillow is good bathroom reading. How much do I really need to start with to be effective and have a 20 to 30 portfolio, 20 to 30 in inventory? How much do I need to start with? Mike
Capital?
Zano.
5
Yeah, how
grand?
much money?
I started negative 40 grand. I just bootstrapped it. I don't know, 5 grand, it'll be more than enough. I would have killed for 5 grand to start with. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have killed. I'm sorry.
It's all mindset.
That's just a expression. I hope you all know that.
If you're not hungry, you need like 20 or 30,000. If you all want this, 5 grand. If you need it because you're in the hole and the world is going to end and you need it and you're going to go do anything for it, $0. So just where are you?
Rapid fire next.
Craig, this was a long time ago. I did 30 deals my first year. 10 deals were cash deals, anywhere from
Done.
three to 5 grand in profit each deal. The rest were
Nice.
terms deals. I started with 10,000.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Craig says you'll be in flight school in the first to second quarter of next year. Craig, we can't wait. We can get you in sooner. November 9th. November 9th is the next one. Ken Green, money will find you all the time. John Zeke, drive Uber, deliver Uber Eats, Google side hustles. Let's see. And then we just got comments. Joseph Abusi's here. Joseph, nice to see you.
Yeah, what up? What up, Joe?
Let's see. Any other questions? A lot of comments. I love it. Are there scammers that you need to look out for? Like bogus land buyers that try to send you a check and they want you to send the money back. Scammers? Have you seen it happen?
Oh, that happens in everyday
happened to
life.
Brett.
Never mind a land business.
That happened to Handsome Rob 2 weeks ago. Somebody sent a random check to his bank. The bank called him and they're like, "What's this?" He's like, "It's a scam," and that was the end of it. Yeah, that happens. Use your head. That's all.
Doesn't happen often.
Use an ounce of common sense.
People are doing that in all areas of life. Not.
Yeah. I also got called about my IRS late bill. Like, what are you gonna do? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Eric Dempsey, when can we do a call? Eric Dempsey, go to thelandgeek.com and go to the book a call icon. And Mike Zano and I can have a call with you soon. We can talk strategy.
You have to renounce the evil empire.
Right.
What?
We're to the end. We're to the end of the comments and questions.
Oh, good. We did it.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Does that mean that we could do Nightcap in about 8 minutes if we just hustled next week, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern?
Wouldn't be as fun, would it? Come on.
No, it wouldn't be. That's true.
It was fun, fellas. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's very exciting. Dates to remember. Remember. October 22nd through the 24th, Land Geek virtual boot camp. 3 days on Zoom. Come in your jammies. You get to learn a lot. You'll learn a ton about land investing. And it will motivate you to take action in this business to change your life. And then November 9th is the next flight school with Scott Todd. We just started a flight school last night.
John.
What's so funny?
He writes normal guy supercar ... I watch. Like, dude, I get it. If I wasn't like a giant ogre, I'd be all into it too, man. But
An ogre.
I fit in like a truck. So, what are you gonna do?
Sorry, I'm gonna have one more nightcap before nighttime, before bedtime. You guys.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
See you all next week.
I don't have to be up at 5. We'll talk to you later.
That hurts. It cuts
Love you, Forbes.